Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're the show that does the heavy lifting, tearing through source material to give you the essential insights you need.
It's all about providing that shortcut to being well-informed.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're putting on a specific hat.
That's right. We are the Gambling Databases Research Team, a group dedicated to delivering in-depth analyses of the global iGaming landscape.
And what does that involve?
In each country-specific report, we explore key aspects like local regulations, taxation, player experience, operator conditions, and, emerging trends. Our goal is to provide a clear, data-driven understanding of how the gambling industry functions within each market and what makes it unique.
And today, we've tackled the sources on Brunei, Jerusalem. It's that small, oil-rich sultanate in Southeast Asia, population of just under 500,000 people.
On paper, you see the wealth, you see the connectivity.
You'd think there's a huge opportunity there for online gaming.
Yeah.
But the source material on Brunei, it offers one of the most uncompromising conclusions we have ever seen.
It really does.
The whole analysis boils down to two numbers. At 0.0 out of 10 for operator ease.
And a 0.0 for player access?
The final verdict isn't a recommendation or a warning. It's just a statement of fact. Absolute prohibition, no legal pathway exists.
And that's the key takeaway, isn't it? We aren't analyzing a tricky market here. We're not talking about high taxes or complicated licensing.
No.
We are analyzing a regulatory impossibility. Brunei is a case study where the ban on gambling isn't just a policy, it's a permanent foundational feature of the state itself.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This monumental regulatory wall. Our sources point to a dual legal system. How do those two systems work together to lock this down so tightly?
Well, the synergy between them is what's so effective. It just eliminates any kind of ambiguity. First, you've got the secular law. That's the Common Gaming Houses Act. And this is the bedrock civil law. It explicitly criminalizes operating, participating, even just facilitating any kind of gambling.
And it specifically mentions online platforms.
Oh, absolutely. It was updated to include electronic or online platforms, so there's no loophole there. But then the real reinforcement comes from the religious side.
The Sharia Penal Code.
Exactly. The Sharia Penal Code Order of 2013. It layers the religious law right on top. Under this system, gambling is classified as haram.
So forbidden.
Religiously forbidden, yeah. And that means breaking the law isn't just a civil offense, it's an offense against the state's official faith.
That dual enforcement, it seems completely foolproof.
Yeah.
But you mentioned permanence. Why is it impossible to imagine this ever changing? Is this just about the current leadership?
No, and this is where you have to understand the national philosophy. It's called Malayu Islam Baraja.
MIB.
MIB, right. And it's not just a slogan, it's the ideology that defines how the country is governed. Malay is about Malay culture. Islam confirms Sunni Islam as the official religion and a legal guide. And Baraja, that confirms the absolute power of the Sultan.
And the Sultan's commitment to this is total.
It's absolute. So because that philosophy places Islam at the center of everything, banning haram activities like gambling is just. It's non-negotiable. It's a permanent fixture.
There's no political path to changing it.
Zero.
So this covers everything. Casinos, lotteries, offshore betting. But what about the gray areas? This is where the source material gave me a real aha moment about their intent. Tell us about the claw machines.
The claw machines. Yes, this action from 2024 is probably the clearest sign of the government's entire philosophy.
Why is that?
Because they're not just banning casinos, they're trying to eliminate the very concept of chance-based financial gain from public life. So they use the Public Entertainment Act to reclassify things like claw machines as gambling.
It's because you might not win a prize.
Exactly. Their logic was, because the reward depends on chance, not pure skill, and the prize has value, it legally qualifies as gambling under their definition.
That is aggressive. They're actively looking for loopholes to close.
It sends an unmistakable message to everyone. There are no gray areas. Even the smallest, most innocent-looking game of chance is a target.
So bottom line, what's the risks for someone just visiting the country who places a small bet online?
The risk is astronomical. And the penalties are universal. They don't care about your nationality.
So it's the same for a citizen and a tourist?
The exact same. For just participating, you're looking at fines up to 10,000 Brunei dollars and up to 6 months in prison. And for operating, forget it. The penalties are exponentially worse.
Okay, so the legal walls are impenetrable. Let's pivot to the practical side. Imagine a major iGaming operator. They're looking at the APAC region. What happens when they look at Brunei?
They find nothing. A ghost town of regulation. Because the activity is illegal, the infrastructure for a legal market just doesn't exist.
So, I mean, obviously, zero licensed operators.
Of course, but there's also no licensing authority. The Ministry of Home Affairs is only there for enforcement. There are no application forms, no criteria, no one to even call to ask. It's a vacuum.
This is where the whole thing becomes so ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at the country's demographics, I mean, Brunei is incredibly wealthy.
The stats are, in isolation, just amazing.
Yeah.
The GDP per capita is around 33,000 US dollars, one of the wealthiest in the region.
And no income tax.
Zero personal income tax, which means people have incredibly high disposable income, and their tech infrastructure is world-class. Internet penetration is 99%.
Wow.
And 90% of populated areas have 5G. So you have wealth, digital literacy, connectivity, everything a market needs.
So what does all that brilliant economic data actually mean here?
The so what is that all of it is completely irrelevant.
Right.
You have all this money, but no legal way to spend it on this kind of product. The legal market size is permanently zero. So there is, and I'm quoting the source here, no addressable market. The law just erases the economic potential.
And even if a player could get to an offshore site, there's what the sources call the banking blockade. How does that work?
This is their most effective choke point. It's the kill switch. All 8 licensed banks in Brunei, international and local, have a categorical policy. They will not process gambling transactions, period.
So if I try to use my local bank card or even an e-wallet linked to that bank?
Fails. The transaction is immediately blocked, and any payment processor inside Brunei that gets caught helping with gambling payments, they face criminal prosecution. They'll lose their license.
It's a total financial lockdown.
Total lockdown. The payment rails, the lifeblood of any online market, are actively policed. Money cannot get in or out.
Which brings us to enforcement. This small country, how much does its size help with this total surveillance?
It's a massive advantage for the authorities. The population is less than 500,000, and over 80% of them live in urban areas, in a tiny land area.
So everyone is concentrated.
Very. And that allows for a level of digital and physical surveillance that you just couldn't do in a bigger country. Anonymity is basically impossible.
And they do monitor internet traffic.
Oh, yes. They are known to monitor internet usage and seize computers used for online gambling. The risk of getting caught is just incredibly high, way higher than in neighboring countries.
So when you put it all together,
You connect all the dots, yeah. The dual legal system, the MIB philosophy, the non-existent licensing, the banking blockade, the surveillance, our gambling database's country rating can only come to one conclusion.
which is?
The only appropriate strategy is complete avoidance. The prohibition is permanent, the market size is zero, and that is not going to change.
And that analysis brings us right back to that stark reality check from the source material. For any operator looking at this, the question isn't the usual, can you make money here?
Not at all.
Is how much will you lose before you are arrested?
That's the real question.
A powerful look into what happens when law and ideology just completely neutralize massive economic potential. For the full text of this and other detailed country reports, you can visit our website at gamblingdatabases.com.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.